Joining us now, Florida gubernatorial candidate and Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you again. Thanks for joining us tonight. What's your reaction to that? Because Democrats' instinctive response to every problem is the same, tax and spend. That Zakaria is saying Democrats appear like dithering technocrats. Americans don't hate government. They hate government that doesn't work. Do you think that the affordability crisis really needs to zero in on what's driving it? And that's Democrats and how they're running cities and states.
100%. I thought Fareed Zakaria's take was actually quite good. It was Democrat policy that caused the greatest inflation we've seen in more than a generation. It's Democrat policy, over-regulation when it comes to building materials, when it comes to energy, that is making electricity costs more expensive, making it more expensive to build housing in the United States. You mentioned at the top, I'm running for governor. One of the things that I'm focused on is actually cutting regulations in our local permitting processes so we can speed up construction timelines so the cost of housing actually decreases in the state of Florida. Our governor, he led a move with deregulation in a tort reform move to actually lower insurance costs. He's working on cutting property taxes, which is something I fully support. The status is clear. When you look at Democrat policy, it always leads to higher prices, crazy regulations, which increase the cost on everybody. But if you look at the agenda of President Trump, our governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, my proposals, it is about lowering costs for the American people. Because if costs are low, it allows people to thrive, to build generational wealth, and really live the American dream.
Yeah, right now, just looking at the data, wage growth under Trump is outpacing the rate of inflation. It's coming in at 4.2%. The rise in wages versus around 3% inflation. Under Biden, historic 40-year high in inflation, running at around cumulative 21% to 23%. Trump is a fraction of that. You know, CNN Zakaria said New York State mirrors New York City, that spending has risen from $70 billion in the year 2000 to more than $230 billion today. Taxes have flown higher in New York, for example, and it's about twice Florida's budget, New York's budget, even though Florida has several million more residents. So when voters see that record, they conclude not unreasonably that more tax and spending is not the answer. More regulation is not the answer.
Now, taxing and spending, crazy regulations do not help people thrive and succeed. That is a fundamental fact. I think for Republicans, we cannot just rest on our laurels of the fact that Democrats put forward crazy policy. We have to continue to deliver. Up here on Capitol Hill, yes, Republicans, we need a health care strategy that will end the crazy regulations of Obamacare, pushing down the cost of health care in the United States. Throughout all of our states, we have to get lean and efficient with the people's money. Lean and efficiency is what matters.
Breaking news coming in. Fox News is reporting Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is about to go to the floor to get unanimous consent that when the Senate receives the House bill that passed to force more Justice Department disclosures of Epstein files, that it will be deemed and passed by the Senate and then immediately sent to the president's desk for his signature. Congressman Donalds, can you talk to us about that, just briefly?
Look, I think the president was very clear in his message the other day. Let's just go ahead and release them. It's the Democrats that have been holding this thing up. The Democrats had access to these files the last 4 years during the Biden administration. They did not want to discuss them at all. But because they think they can score a cheap political point, now they want to move full speed ahead. I think the American people need to understand Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have always played politics first. They are concerned about the American people second and third. Actually, really third and fourth, because there's politics first, and then them holding their offices and their power is second. So let's see what the Senate does. If they dispense with it, fine. Let the files be released. I think the key thing that has to be made sure is that the victims that do not want to be public are protected. And there needs to be, we need to do everything we can to protect those people.
Got it. Congressman Donalds, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.